self-assistance to take an action towards attainment, and I here now promise to render such action. Second, I realize that dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into visible reality. Therefore, I will go on to hear my thoughts clearly meditated upon the task of being that person and him come, thereby creating my mind and clear the future of that person. Third, I know through the principle of my suggestion, any desire I persistently hold in my mind will eventually be reproduced right away. Therefore, I will go 10 minutes in and myself alone. Fourth, I have clearly written down the description of my administrative life, and I'll never stop trying to I fully realize no one can sit me along the door unless it belongs to the justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transactions to help us become the same. I will see my friend myself for 6 years and become more realistic. I will succeed in I love for all humanity. I know that everything is correct. I love to be me, that I understand, and myself. I'll sound my name to the Lord. It is about one day. You won't believe it if I do the work of God's action. So that I become a self-reliant and a person. Hoorah! Alright, 12 step. This is a 12-step formula with minimum standard which, when followed, will generate the cost of environment. Here is 24 plus transactions. One, I dedicate 1 hour a day to building protection of myself constantly. Two, I practice and realize myself skills for minimum 1 hour a day. Three, I contact my sphere influence by mail, by phone, and or in person, and by email board. Four, I make a contact with someone every week. 30 plus contacts, I call them in person. Five, I follow daily basis. Six,
I set 5 o'clock new appointments to be inspired with sellers. 7, I completely pre-qualify 100% of my appointments. 8, I have an appointment scheduled to take a raise 50% or greater. 9, I call all my sellers weekly to install listings every 3 weeks to win 5%. 10, I sell 75% of more of my listing inventory. 11, I will return every client call, contact every buyer leaving the queue. 12, I only run 5 qualified buyers, pre-qualified by mortgage owners, and a buyers for agreement. Earn more commissions with less time and less energy spent. I recognize success comes from persistent output. Therefore, I commit to applying for successful models of success. Well, there's back to that and take your power stand.
Now I am the boy!
Now I am the boy!
I will lead, not follow!
I will lead, not follow!
I will believe, not doubt!
I will believe, not doubt!
I will break, not destroy!
I will break, not destroy!
I am a force for good!
I am a force for good!
I am a leader!
I am a leader!
By the odds!
By the odds!
Setting standards!
Setting standards!
Step up! Step up! Step up!
Step up!
Step up!
Step up!
Alright, opening up station!
I'm not those sellers against those souls. I use information about my life and their goals. I price my listings right. I focus on small wins every day. Real estate transactions are fun and market. My ability to succeed. I get stronger than we step. I'm a master of mistakes. I call it shape.
I always have that thought. I take every care of my body. I write daily with my integrity. I attack voices. I say clear fire every day. I know when I want to hear it. I practice before I hear it.
My gratitude is literally my hand to success. I think prosperous thoughts. I am prosperous. I am momentum wisely and I profit every day. Take action to see before me. I need to start each day. I enjoy being temporary. I exercise daily. I enjoy what my clients see. I know the truth. I am a real estate expert. I expect to be a real estate expert. I am a professional. I am financially independent. I am prestige coming up. I have solutions. Profit is good for my business. I call it buyers to sell by others. Profit is easy for me. I enjoy Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
How is everybody?
Awesome.
Good. I mean that a little bit louder. How is everybody?
Woo!
There we go. There's the energy from yesterday. Okay, come on up. Let's do book club. Are there any gratitudes or victories anybody wants to share?
I am grateful. I'm sorry to jump in there like that, but
You have to raise your hand.
Janlyn, right? I know, that's
Come
just
on.
not me. Janlyn's brand new, just want to welcome her. She's in school getting her license, so you see her wandering around here, just kind of checking things out. Welcome her. She's excited, former air traffic controller, so pretty exciting. So, neat,
Good
huh?
time to make a switch for you.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, anything you want to add to that? She did great role play today, so.
Dan.
My daughter made the dean's list.
Woo!
Nice.
Nice.
We make some. Yeah, Evan.
Grateful for
Awesome.
my
Grateful
grateful for Mike for making me go door knocking because now I'm not
That's
scared.
like perfect grade.
Good. I love
Yes.
it.
Yesterday.
And she got getting maybe an appointment out of it, so.
Great. Miss Timbra.
Okay, so I am really thankful for this company and just which I know people say all the time, but I am under contract with a for sale by owner.
Wow.
And the entire time, I mean, she's, the entire time, my ability to communicate with her in a professional and kind, wait, maybe that side needs to scoot
You guys
so
come
this
around
side
this
can
way.
keep
I'm
scooting
fine.
in.
I don't need to even
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we do.
But just to be able to use the information and the knowledge that I have about the market, but also to be able to communicate to her professionally, like her pricing is not correct, and just all of these things. She was at $220, but you have to offer me this if you have an agent. My client decided just to pay me outside of the contract so that we had more negotiating power, and so we gave her this offer, and she said I won't go below this, and I said, but this is what your house is worth, because here's 3 ways that I came to this same number, and she was like, okay, send me your best offer and we'll do it. And then this week she was refusing to do a single repair out of a 25 item list, And so we just said, we're gonna send over a cancellation, and this is why, and just so when you are working with other agents, you understand their position, because she called me a bully last week, and I just said, I'm not using this as bullying. I have a legal obligation to take care of my client. It has nothing to do with you, and if you had somebody between us, you wouldn't be taking it personally, you know? And she wrote back and said, okay, I'm gonna call Rocky Mountain and I'm gonna see if I can get this repair done, and even if not, we'll just lower the price. And I'm like, okay, so for a week and a half you've been telling me no, 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 and then as soon as I said, this is what you're gonna have to deal with if you get another contract. Anyway, and I've just been reflecting on how grateful I am for how this company teaches you to communicate with people, just, you know, to be professional, and you don't have to take it personally, and just to kind of take that out of the equation. And that was effective in getting someone to see that we were on the same side.
Nice work.
So she's paying you outside the contract?
My client is. Yeah, my client said, I'll just give you the 3%. I'll just pay the 3% out of my pocket because I want to be able to get a lower price on this home. And if I'm asking her to pay commissions, she's going to be fighting for a higher price. So.
Nice. Good job.
So cool.
Anyway, it's really awesome, and I think that's important when you're working with anybody, is that you're not fighting against the other agent. You're trying to work together for a common goal, and when you can see that, then everybody can, you know. Anyway, so.
Good job.
Absolutely. Love it. Anybody else? Jace.
I'm grateful for the summit yesterday. That part where George was talking about being in the fire just kind of resonated with me. Because a lot of times I like to get out of fire, but if you're going to be refined, if you're going to become better, you've got to stay in the fire a little bit longer. And I think sometimes, like just reflecting on his conversation yesterday, I was thinking, how many times have I been in the fire and decided that I want to get out of the fire just because it was easier for me to be out of the fire. And I just liked how he said, you got to stay in there as long as you can, and just keep staying in there, and you're going to get better and better as you do it. So I like that.
I love it. Well, that brings us to a great point. As you guys know, Wednesdays after Summit we kind of go over our ahas and takeaways. And so anybody else want to?
I'm going to throw this out there. By the end of this year, I'm going to be down to 200 pounds. I've lost 9 pounds this last week.
Good job.
Nice.
Nice, Evan.
I mean, that's a big accountability.
Right?
Yep, I threw it out there.
I like it. I love it. That's great.
I'd like to share. I am so grateful. I am with Vanguard, and I just love that you guys let us come up here. And I was just writing in my gratitude today that it's been a year that I've been coming to these morning meetings, and just my resolution was I was going to share more, because I come and I don't say anything, but I get so much, and I'm so grateful. So thank you so much.
We love having you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel the same. I'm with the claim to home warranty. My name's Sandra, for those that don't know me. But I'm very grateful that I get to come to summits and come to these morning meetings, come to base camp. It's still home to me because I used to be here, but so City 21 is still my family, but I am very grateful.
I'm glad you do too.
Love it. Anybody else have any takeaways?
As of this morning at 6:30 a.m., I have done 21 minutes of cardio this year.
Wow.
Is that on track or off track?
I was just going to say, is that in the inferno or not?
If you're on track,
He only set a goal for 2 minutes a day, and he's up to 2.5.
that's why I asked.
Well, I'll share some of my takeaways yesterday. Is one of the things that I loved, and was a great reminder to me, is George talked about not only the inferno and staying in it and seeing that, right? But I loved how he talked about remembering what got you there in the first place. And that was a big thing for me, is remembering the fundamentals and remembering, I can't tell you how many times I'm working with my coaching clients to other things where it's just the littlest thing that can make the difference in their calls, and they're not paying attention to it just because they're doing great, or they're, hitting their goals or making the money they want to make. And I think just in every area of our life is paying attention to those fundamentals and getting back and going back to that. And I think January obviously is always a great time for us to revisit that. So, and I'm going to say this without crying, but I am proud of Aaron and how far he's come. And this morning I even was thinking that at the gym.
And it's just a prime example of this environment, like you said, and how grateful I am for what it does for each and every one of us, because it does it every day. And you've been an example to me, so thank you.
For all of us.
Thanks.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, anybody else have takeaways?
Can
I loved when, now Rick and I are competing. This is actually the fight ring, so.
Go!
There were tons of great, just like quotable quotes that
Right.
George said yesterday, but the couple that I wrote down, the one was, why are you so focused on being done? You know, instead of focusing on just being done every day or done for a goal or whatever, like, why not being focused on what you can do more of, how you can push more, take more, do more. And I think I'm just always focused on like, okay, I put in my hours, and I didn't get what I wanted, but I put in the hours and now I'm all done, you know. And then the other was that I will not look left, I will not look right, I will stay the course and I will stay in the fire. And I just thought that was so like, yeah.
Submit to the process and make sure that you're staying.
I'm raising this time.
Yeah, good job, Rick.
So the thought that really occurred to me that just hit really hard and resonated, again, back to being in the fire. I don't know how many of you have dealt with steel or anything like that, but in order to really get a tempered, solid steel to stand up to the pounding and the pressure, you have to stay in the fire till it's red hot. So being in the fire till you're red hot, what does red hot mean to you? When you're red hot, you go out and kick butt. So staying in the fire does that. And to me, that's where my mind went when I was in foundry class learning the metallurgy and what it does in the temperance of what you become in that process.
Yeah, you can't be changed until you're all the way.
Right, right.
Can't be molded.
Literally changes the molecules in the metal, become stronger.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yes.
I wasn't here.
Please, yeah.
Just about being in the fire. I know that I had a son that passed, and at the time I had heard this similar quote about being in the fire and refinement, and I didn't really, it took a long time for me to understand that, but it molded me into a better person. And the gratitude that I have for being able to be the mother of him, but having to also suffer through some of the pains, well, all of the pains. And in the end, it made me a better person. So.
Thanks for sharing that. It's amazing.
Mike, what were your takeaways?
I thought Kenzie did a really great job.
Loved it.
And that video of the snowboarder slash skier, it just kind of goes to show if you just put your head down and pretty much stay focused, when you look up, you'll be surprised where you are.
Yeah.
Wasn't that fun?
That was
Watch
cool.
reaction.
That was cool.
She's like, wait, is he gotta be?
Like to see her standing there.
Right.
She was like,
That was cool.
Oh yeah, it was cool. That was great.
That was amazing. And that's exactly what I was going to comment on. I'm glad that's what stuck out to several of us about what she shared, because her story with her dad, that was hilarious.
yeah. That was awesome.
But what she said is so true. I mean, how often do we just fit into what our labels are, and we just stay there? And so George's talk was so complimentary of her point is that we can choose. We can choose as to how we want people to label us. It's not going to be fun to change those labels. That's what the fire's all about, is how do we want to be labeled.
It's good.
Love it. Keith? Oh, sorry.
I liked, I actually have something written down. I will stay the course to allow myself to be the person I'm destined to become. I just love that. So staying in the inferno, and I committed to giving 120%, and after like 2 days, I'm not seeing results, but it's kind of foolish to think you can have
But he's doing
results
such a good job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm right next to you and I'm hearing you just getting in touch with everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've got a long way to go, but anyway, I love that. Stay the course.
Eddie.
So I'm grateful for the example of the leadership of the company, from George to you guys, but mainly for walking the walk. You know, I think that's what sets the company apart, and it's awesome to be in the building environment where George is doing it, and it always starts from the top, you know, to trickle down to the rest of us. So I'm grateful for all of you for being here and for showing the way.
Thank you. Thanks. Aaron, any takeaways? I mean, you got beat down pretty hard yesterday, but.
He's interesting, man. He's breaking me down. He's just when you get tired, he's like throttle down, which is weird because that's really everything he's saying. That's how he thinks and functions. So I'm kind of I'm tired right now. Like I'm emotional and tired, but I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the access I have to him. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but just his the way he literally functions is, and it is when you're tired, it's weird. There's not even a question to, like today. When I got up to the gym, I am like wasted. But
I saw you.
But it's just interesting because it's just by staying the course, and keeping on track and doing the actions. He mentioned yesterday in the summit about, I've seen that in a conversation. I remember Joanna Williams. I remember Amy Clark. I mean, there's a whole handful, some of my friends that are gone, but just the people, and they're gone, but they're not gone. They're still trained and operate the way George taught. But it's just interesting. It's the people that actually are listening and staying the course and doing the daily actions, the 12 steps on to success. At least at some level, there is major successes happening, and it's funny to see who people are becoming and how you can actually develop and determine who you are. So.
Yeah, just like the quote he said yesterday, it says, "Who do you become during the process?" Exactly.
I love that. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm figuring out new levels of who I am. You know, I mean, I am worn out. So.
And you can see it. You make no mistake. That's the encouraging thing, because you're this big burly guy, and you're taking this head on. You are literally in the fire, heating up, and you can see the difference, the intent, the passion with it is inspiring. You're inspiring people around you because of the heat you're in. Make no mistake. And to me, I'm grateful for that in more levels than you can imagine. Just know that.
One of the things that I loved, and just echo to what Aaron was saying, and I wrote it down, is, and it's one of the things that George said, you know, I'll either make you or I'll break you, and then because you make it, we'll become friends. And I think, you know, how often I mean, all of us, I'm sure, have experienced it at some level. Even as I tell Aaron how grateful I am for him and what he's done for me, I know I beat him up pretty hard myself. So, you know, when they're over there leg pressing, I go over and I'm like, that looks pretty easy.
She pushes down on it.
Yeah. Actually, there's been a time, Timbra, where I've actually sat on it.
Oh, I believe you.
And made
Totally
him leg
believe
press
that.
me on top of it too. But I think, you know, oftentimes we think of, and I love, then I just wrote down here is, and this is a statement from Tony Robbins, and he says, a true friend confronts you. Right, as when you're off track, when you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing, is how often, and Timber, even you, this is a great example in our business, is how often are we not confronting our clients, or we're not being who we need to be, because we want to sit there and, like he said, coddle and like we're the mom and take care of them and things like that, when in reality, that client appreciated you even more because you did step up and say, that's not going to be the reality of things. Right? And so I think it's a great example to us, too, not just in personal life, I wrote it as that, but how often are you confronting, you know, your clients and making sure that you're doing it. Dan?
Since we're talking about Aaron, I just want to say how grateful I am for Aaron as well. He's been a great example for me. A good friend.
Yeah.
That's it.
Love it. Miss Leslie, do you have any takeaways from yesterday?
I didn't go. I'm sorry.
Okay. April, did you?
I didn't go either.
We,
They're preparing
we
for
sold a
production
house.
retreat.
That's what we were doing.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a good
Why
reason
we're
then.
here, right?
That's a good reason.
Now, I wasn't there, but my wife was, and she mentioned that they were going to do a trip for everybody this next year. Is that right?
Yeah, so
If you
you.
get emerald and above.
Emerald and above.
45.
There'll be some sort of
Wow.
compensation.
Yeah.
Now, do they
Like
do
a
that for
portion?
teams?
So it started in California. California, it did it before we had merged with them, and so we've continued to do it there. And now that we've gotten to the point, it's being offered here. So it's different levels of production. We'll get different levels of, based on what I know, get different levels of the compensation for the trip. So
Do they send the entire team?
They
Or
will
they
be.
just send
It breaks
leader?
down by your income.
Yeah.
Through their
Individually.
Yeah.
So they're gonna make sure that each individual, depending on their income level and contribution,
Yeah.
can
And
go.
not necessarily the whole trip is paid, but a portion depending on.
Yeah.
Your
Depending on
production.
where you're at.
Production.
Pretty cool,
But fun anyway.
right?
Mhm.
Just have that goal,
Something to
target,
go for.
yeah.
Great Emily.
Okay, anybody else want to share some
I
takeaways?
just want to share one more thing.
Please.
Yesterday, I don't have my same notebook, but he said some kind of quote like this, so hopefully one of you wrote it down. But he said, I'm gonna do what I need to do regardless of how I feel.
Yep.
And I
Went through
think
my head
that's
at
so
4:30.
important, because sometimes you wake up and you're like, I don't feel like, and you
Yeah.
still just have to be in there. You gotta do it. And Louis has said the same thing similar, so it was really cool. Oftentimes, Louis and George are like this, and I don't know how much they like communicate with each other.
I'm a Allah.
Yeah. So it's so cool to be with Louis and hear Louis, and then be here and hear you guys saying the same things about goals and about sticking with it, and about, you got your 2 deals for the day, and so you don't need to get any more or whatever. And I made a really huge goal this year. My number is gonna be 466 for the year.
Nice.
And so, and then right after I made it, a team member of mine decided to go to the other side of the fence. And so I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to start all over, and I'm not gonna make it. And like, I saw this vent opening, like, oh,
I
here,
love it.
if I don't make it, then this is why, and yesterday was just a confirmation of like, close that vent. I'm gonna make it. It's gonna happen. 466 is my number. And so I'm
Nice.
excited.
Nice.
I love that you bring that up, because one of the things that I did and wrote down that I want to do is I want to go through, right, the 8 equities that George talked about, and anybody that's wanting to do it with me, I'd love for us to hold each other accountable, but the 8 equities, and go, okay, what vents do I have in these areas? Even last night, I had a couple individuals here from California that I'm looking to bring on our team, and we went to dinner last night, and we all were just joking because we ordered nachos. And we're like, well, there's a vent, right? And so things like that we're just, it's funny how quickly, in fact, as he gave the examples, even for me, I know some of you may believe that this is hard, but food is my vent. And it always has been since I was a little girl. And so it's been fun to see, like you said, that quit doing things based on how you feel and do what you know you should be doing. And at 4:30 this morning, that quote went through my head as well, because I was just going, oh man, I shouldn't have eaten that, right? And it was wanting me to stay in bed. So you feel the effects of it. So, anybody else?
I have something on them.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you let stress of life get to you, and you just want to sit at home and do nothing. And sometimes that's my event. Like, well, I'm not having a good day, so I'm just gonna stay at home and do nothing. But yesterday, I left my house, and immediately I came here and role played, and my day ended up being a great day. So I was like, when George was talking about stuff, I'm like, well, how many more days can you turn around if you would have just gotten up and did what you were supposed to do?
Yep.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
It has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
It does. I love how Darren Hardy will often talk about the compound effect, right? The little things that we do day in and day out, and how it can either have that compact effect of the good, or it can have that compact of the bad, and we have to choose that first. Scott, I know you were there.
Yeah.
So.
So I've been doing this 2 months Friday, and my whole life has changed. Like 3 months ago, I wouldn't have believed I could do the things I can do now, and I love the perspective shift that everyone has here, that they elevate you, where people, even in your inner circle, or would be, like family, friends, who almost prey on your downfall, it can affect you, and you can stay in that mental poverty. But then when you break free from that and realize that there are so many people to elevate you, and you elevate you, like no one's going to be successful for you, and just being in the environment to thrive. Right after Ascent, I went and got my second listing at 7%, and
nice.
It was awesome. So,
did you stand tall? I said, did you stand tall and lead with your heart?
I was like this.
Look, I'm here to list your
Guys, give me 2 minutes. But I just love what it's done, and today I even heard things that one of my in-laws had said about me, and before it would have really affected me, like made me have a bad day and feel really depressed and down, like man, that sucks. And now it's like, I don't care. Like, tell me something now and I'll prove you wrong. And it's just so, how fast it happened. And that's from people like George and people like you guys in this room of elevating, and it's awesome.
I love
It's
it.
invigorating.
Let it be the fuel to your fire, to your inferno, right?
Yeah.
So,
I wanna
Ethan,
live
did
it.
you have anything? Any
What?
takeaways for you?
Oh, I wasn't at Summit,
Okay.
but I guess Aaron's awesome, so.
Yay.
See?
Amazing.
I love it. I love it.
Lindsay, real quick on
Go ahead.
just real quick on the follow-up on his, Mackenzie said something that I wrote down. She didn't say it exactly like this, but this is what went through my mind. So we allow others to determine what our results will become when we follow the labels they've attached to us. And I thought, you know, I mean, how many times has family members and people you've associated with since childhood put these labels that you are this person, and when you're in their presence you act like that person because you're afraid that you might not be yourself, or you'll be somebody different, or you won't be what they want you to be. And by doing that, we allow them to determine our results of the day. So,
That's powerful.
I love that. Just even, I love too, and echo to that what she said, is raising the bar, right? Raising that expectation of what they have, and really pushing yourself to do that. So Scott, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah. Neighbor, John, you were saying?
So, I absolutely agree with the importance of being in the inferno, and not, with that being said, we're not gonna work like 7 days a week, 24 hours, all 7 days. That just isn't humanly possible. And from what I understand, I believe when they temper still, they heat it up, they get white hot, they pull it out, cool it off, and then they stick it back in, right?
Yep.
It's planned. It's planned. So, I mean, my wife has challenges with eating as well. And I've watched when she plants her van, it's smaller and it's very short. When she tries to go long and hard and doesn't have a planned vent, and I do this too with my problems. I mean, if I don't have a planned vent, next thing I know it's 3 days, 2 weeks, whatever, venting, playing games on my phone, or whatever the vent is. It's open far too long. So what I would share is plan your vents, make them short.
That's good.
But plan them that way you can know from 9 to 12 I prospect on Monday through whatever it is. Plan your event and plan your inferno.
think George said
point.
that too. He
Yeah.
said it's not like I never take a break, but yeah, he plans
Right.
it. It's on a vacation or it's on a, I mean, it's a.
Just for your information, I got a call on the way here saying, make sure everybody knows that there's a dinner and it's gonna be on Tuesday night and we're eating at Strip Burger.
Oh.
What? So, no, he does. He definitely plans, and you do have to plan those events. I love that point, John. I think it's great to say, okay, here's my event, here's what I'm going to allow myself to do, what do I need to do before, what do I need to do after to make sure that I get back on track, right?
When you have those events as maybe a reward.
Yeah.
I mean, that way you prospect harder and, you know,
That's how you
it's
see it.
rewarding. It's not just because you get an event.
Right.
It's, you know.
That's a good point.
Great. Evan.
You know, when you're cutting wood, and you're making round spots and making it look really good, you have to have points where the saw can relax a little bit, and we need that in our lives. And another subject I was just wanting to know, what's this month's book?
So that's a great point. Thanks, Evan. So one thing that I just want to point out before I answer that, because we're going to ask a question first, is one thing that I just wanted to say is on Jeremy's note, and it kind of goes everything in what I was saying is, you know, are you prepared? It was kind of fun as we walked out. I asked Matt, you know, because he's going to be at Production Retreat next week, and for all of you who know, he's an Olympic weight trainer. And I told him, I said, are you going to train me next week while we're at Mike Ferry? And, he, you know, because it gives us the opportunity. And he goes, I've tried to. And I said, hey, don't act like I'm not prepared for your no. So, and handle the objection. So, are you preparing for the things as you go through these infernos? Are you doing the little steps necessary to make sure that you're preparing for your events, John, right? And so, make sure that you guys are doing your day-to-day to make sure that you're there, you're prepared, that you know your scripts, you know your dialogues, you know the objections that are going to be faced at you, because those are part of your inferno on a daily basis in this business. So make sure that you're doing what you need to do. I loved how Jeremy talked about that, because I think it, and really they all talked about it, is are you going to face it or are you going to run from it? So I would challenge you to lead with your heart, as George said, and make sure that you're not leading with your head. Okay, so in retrospect, yes, obviously today is Summit overviews, but we are still on the Zig Ziglar book as of right now because of the holidays and everything that has been happening. So we're only on chapter 8 of this book. You guys, if you have not read it, it is honestly for me, and me and April have talked about this, is a different perspective on everything that we learn here on a daily basis. But there is so much good in it that I'm going to ask you guys as a group if we want to continue to finish it and take just a couple weeks, but let's try to get through it quickly so that we can get on to the next book for the first of the year.
What's the name of the book?
It's The Secrets of Closing the Sale by Zig Ziglar.
Powerful book.
It really is a powerful book.
We do need to finish it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I would like to finish it. Who's in a vote to finish the book and to make sure that we get it? Okay.
I'd say no more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, no more than 2 weeks.
and let's be done.
So 2 weeks, let's get it through it. So we're on chapter 8. Let's read through at least 15 to 16 by next week so that we can go through it. And then one of the things that I also would just challenge you guys on this is, as we come with the books, it's so much fun for those of you who come with your takeaways on it as well. But I'll challenge you on, share a little story about this with you guys. I hated reading. Absolutely hated reading up until the day I started working here. For me, I grew up on a farm. I grew up playing sports. I'd rather be outside than doing anything else. I was not even one of those kids that would watch TV because it was just a waste of time to me. Still is a waste of time to me. But I would challenge you on what John challenged me with, and I can tell you this. If you haven't read it, it's another great book that you should put in your line to read. It's called The 12 Pillars to Success by Jim Rohn. And John said to me as as I stepped into the recruiting position, he said, Linz, I just want you to come to Wednesdays. And I'm like, that's book club. And that's Wednesdays. And I'm not coming to book club. And he just said, promise me you'll read the book and promise me you'll show up tomorrow. And I said, okay, I'll read the book. I didn't put that book down yet, you guys. I finished it that night. But I can to this day tell you chapter 8 in that book says, if you want to be a better leader, you have to be a better reader.
That's the same book John started me on when we started mentoring.
Is it?
Yeah. When we did coaching.
The 12 Pillars to Success. It's a short read, great stories. Yeah, I mean, for somebody who hates reading, I mean, it really is a challenge for me, you guys. I literally had it done in probably like an hour to 2 hours. It's a short book, so read it. But in Able to be a better leader, you have to be a better leader. And I'm going to challenge you all this year, whether it's me or whether it's Rick, please come prepared on Wednesdays. Be a better leader. Lead out your year. Start leading your year by leading yourself first, as John Maxwell will always say. So let's take 2 weeks. Let's finish this book, and then we'll jump into the next one.
Hey, Lynn.
Fair? Yeah.
I think too, if you're not going to read the book, because let's face
Or
it,
listen
some
to it,
people
yeah.
aren't.
Listen.
Well, sure. That is reading to me. We're not in school anymore. We're just getting the information. But what I was going to say is there's always a summary online, or there's little YouTube videos or anything. And really the purpose of book club is to expand our mind, to gain new ideas, and to just improve our lives. And so if you're really not going to read it, there's other ways that are shorter that you can still at least come with something to contribute.
That's a great point, April. There's so many times where I'm reading multiple books because I have one in my personal side and then I have business, and there are times where I do that. So that's a great point. Or listen to it, you guys. Audible while you're working out at the gym, you know, because that's your new resolution this year. So, okay. Any other thoughts or?
Just announcements.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I totally went over this.
No, it's good. It's math class we have coming up. Remember Toastmasters today?
By the way, I've used Ann, and she's awesome.
That's cool.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, get these in, man. These are good things to have. Toastmasters today at 1 in here. If you haven't tried it, try it. Obviously, you went over, you know, UPW and Mike Ferry coming up. Guys, these are just events you don't want to miss. They refine your life, just not your real estate. Which one? The math class?
It's not this Friday, it's the following Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
So, as the message in Summit, show up to the events. Do the things you need to do. What other, are we missing any announcements? Any others that?
I would just tell you guys, if you haven't signed up for Mike Ferry, I had multiple agents reach out to me yesterday. Yes, you can still get in. Yes, you can still get our price. Be there. You guys, this event is by far the best event that he does. Because I'm off the clock, I can say that for him. But it is the best event. The people who go to that event are serious about their business. It's a great opportunity for you to set up those role play partners, to make sure that you're fine-tuned, to make sure you're part of masterminds and things like that. So get involved in it. It's $195, I believe, at our pricing. And if you just call into corporate and ask for Mark Perdun, he can get you set up. So.
One another topic on this book that we're reading right now, I was reading about the sympathy and empathy. Are you there yet?
That's exactly where we're starting. Yeah, from where we've left off. So.
Boy, that is powerful. That switched my whole thinking about
understanding.
So next week I want to know how. I want to know how, Evan. Okay, let's do it. Let's close her up. Let's close out with affirmations. Thank you guys for all being here.
We'll go over the closing affirmation.
What am I doing?
Typically, people go down and prospect. To who? Oh, who did?
Okay, closing affirmations. I succeed because I act on my goals. I'm an optimist. I like talking to new people. I know what's important to me. I remember people's names. I have a daily plan I follow. I am passionate about real estate. I know this is my greatest tool. I like asking questions, listening. I enjoy reading to improve my soft skills. My thoughts lead my emotions, actions, and results. I will self-regulate daily. My presentation power is persuasive. I improve my skills daily. I am happy. I love prospecting to feed my business. I see my future is awesome. I love my life. I'm grateful and thankful. I control my thinking. I believe in me. I feel outstanding. I use my beliefs and optimism daily. I get things done. I provide excellent customer service. I drink water daily. I connect with people. People love me. I love others. I stay accountable on my daily schedule. I prospect daily. I set appointments daily. I am a master translator. I achieve my goals. I'm a real estate rock star. I am passionate about my life. I live every day with purpose. I'm confident in my sound skills. I know my destiny. I am healthy and strong. I am powerful. I'm unstoppable. I keep all the fight and go for it. Stop and all the time. Yes!
Hi. Very good. I didn't see